Okay, so there's the new Snow White movie.
Hmm.
Okay, with Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, and it's not doing well in the theaters.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and so I've just seen all these reviews about how, for one, just the animation or the with the dwarves and stuff is just not good. And then
Wait, I thought this was a live action. They have live action people, but they couldn't like give a little person a job. I don't get it.
I feel like there's like some CGI involved. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen it myself, neither have you.
That's true.
But there's like CGI involved. I
Hmm.
think that just makes it look bad. And then there is like, it just makes no sense.
Well, the story makes no sense to begin with. It's a young woman living in the woods with seven men. Like, talk about polyamorous relationships.
Right. So, anywho, but we talked about this, like, it hasn't been doing well since before it came out, when a couple of years ago she was doing like those interviews, and people felt like she was just not very, respectful or really kind when it came to Snow White's character because the story is so um ancient and bad that but she was kind of only talking about that and not really some of the better, some of the more positive aspects of the character. And basically just said that they were redoing it and kind of was like negative about some things that are more considered girly, like, wanting a husband, and that's her whole only focus, and, all this stuff. And people just were really turned off from that point on. And that was a couple years ago. So now that it's come out, it's kind of just a continuation of that.
So, what were the good parts of the original story that people felt like were being?
Well, I think it's more like her, because she is the original princess.
Oh, so it's not Cinderella? I thought it was Cinderella.
No, I
Or what
think
about that
it's
little dog, that little puppy who like smooches with the spaghetti?
a 101 Dalmatian.
No, Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. No, but really, I thought that the original princess was Cinderella, but it's Snow White.
That's what I gathered from the comments that I've seen.
We could Google it, but
We're
why
not going to.
bother?
And so, oh, it's just more that people feel like she's being kind of like disrespectful of her as in the general sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of get it in terms of like it's not bad to like want a husband, and it kind of just seemed like she
Of
was like
course.
crapping on the whole concept of more like girlier kinds
Like
of,
traditional
right, that kind
woman
of thing. And it's
role.
like
Yeah.
she was like, oh, she's not doing any of that. She's focused on, being the warrior or the, queen. Her dad knows that she can be, like, that kind of thing. So kind of just making it sound like, not focusing on that, focusing on wanting a husband and family is kind of bad in a way, I think is like what people were getting at
Stop,
versus.
stop, stop, stop. She would be focusing on the kind of queen that her father wanted her
Yeah,
to
I'm
be, but I don't
confused. I thought that
know.
her dad was dead. I don't know.
But also, he would be a product of that time as well. Like what? He was wanting her to be like Merida or something.
I don't know.
Okay, keep
I
going.
don't know. And so, so I kind of see both sides of like, yeah, modernizing the film, but I
Hmm.
think people were just feeling like she kind of was going off the deep end and just not being very
Respectful.
right in a way that like still kind of says like, yeah, she is still on the softer whatever side. Like she does still like sing to animals, and that's just like her personality. It's
Hmm.
more that just like, oh, all of that is primitive and we're not doing any of that. She's a warrior, that's what people were getting, I think.
Hmm.
And then of course there's like the whole with Gal Gadot, people don't like her because of the whole Israeli and Palestinian thing, which is not what we're talking about right now, but it's just like.
Yeah, but I don't know what people want from her. She's Israeli and she served in the military, which, yeah, so yeah, it's a whole different topic, but I'm not sure what the expectation is on that one. Why they would be upset. But okay, keep going. So there's that part of it too. That's That's not causing the movie to be bad though, but it's causing it to not be doing well in the theaters.
Exactly. Like people don't like Gal Gadot, so they are not gonna go see the movie.
Well, I did see something where it said that I guess when they released the trailer, and obviously I didn't go fact check it, but when they released the trailer, it only got like 60,000 likes, so Disney should have known better than to actually put it in the theaters. Like they totally could have done like a direct to Disney Plus release or something that made more sense. Why would you let
Hmm.
the movie go out there knowing it's going to flop like that?
Right. And I think that's the thing too, because not many of the new live action versions of these
Yeah,
stories have done
right, they're
well.
bad. Nobody's asked for them.
Right, like at all.
So here's what stood out to me. When I first heard about this, one, so generally, it's not ideal to comment on women's appearance, except that the entire plot of the story is
Hmm.
about this older woman, more mature, being kind of dethroned by this younger, more attractive woman. And she looks in the mirror, 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 who looks good? Because I don't know why you would ask that if you already feel like you're the best looking, but I guess she needed that affirmation every day. So like, oh, just woke up. Mirror, mirror, tell me I look good. And the mirror's like, dang, girl, you were looking good. But just yesterday, Snow White surpassed you on like the scale of 1 to 10. Like you were a dime piece. Now you're a nine. She's a 10.
Or now you're a nickel, you know.
Look into the mirror. So I think the thing that stood out to me is I think Gal Gadot is very beautiful. And I
Hmm.
just don't see her being jealous of that young lady.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, who did the casting? And then, okay, so that's the first thing that stood out to me is why on earth? And so then in my head, you know what I have to do? I have to say to myself, she's playing the character of someone
Who's less
who's
attractive?
less attractive.
Okay.
Because that's the only way I make it through a lot of stuff. Like, oh,
Right.
she's playing an attractive character.
Right, and
Because
I
sometimes
do
they
think
don't.
there is that thing, which I actually feel like, and out of all the movies that have been where people are like, oh, you know, people of color are basically just taking over
Yeah.
everything. This one hasn't had that, but I do feel like Rachel Zegler is like Latina and Snow White is Snow White. So I do think that I think that this one's kind of interesting. But I haven't seen anything about this one. Ariel is like, oh, she should be white even though she's a fish. And everyone else and everything else, it's like, oh my gosh, they're taking over. And with this one, it's like, I haven't seen much
So,
about
okay, look,
this.
so I don't know if that's because it's just an old story at this point and people are used to it, if there's just so much happening in the world that nobody
Hmm.
cares,
Which
or if it's because, Ariel went all the way. She's black. And we're talking about this young lady who is, I mean, she's not white passing, but she's a Latina who has lighter skin. So I don't know if it's more comfortable, but I was going to say that's the second thing I noticed. I noticed that Gal Gadot was somehow going to be jealous of this young lady's, the beauty of this young lady's character. And I also noticed that this young lady is named Snow White and
we
she's
should probably
not.
bleep some of this out.
No.
Yes, we're gonna get canceled.
We can't, I mean,
Yes, I'm not gonna be, before we even start, I'm not gonna be canceled.
I don't think we can avoid that. I mean, look, it's true. I mean, it's my honest, these are my thoughts. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm not saying, I'm trying not to use derogatory language. I'm just saying I was surprised to see Gal Gadot jealous of that particular young lady. I'm also surprised to see someone literally named Snow White,
Played by someone who's not white at
not
all,
white at
but no
all.
one's talking about it, and I think that's real. I think that's interesting.
But you know what's
So
funny?
what?
It just reminded me of that year when Mimi dressed up as Snow White for Halloween. You don't remember that?
I
But
do,
it
but
looks fine.
you're so silly. You also dressed up for Snow White for the
Disney
Disney
cruise.
cruise.
Yeah. So I guess I
Yeah.
stand corrected that it's okay. I mean, it's not like it's a problem. I just think it's odd. It's an odd
Mhm.
choice of like casting.
Well, I think the whole thing is bad. Like, hey, this younger woman is prettier than me. Like, for one, we shouldn't be comparing women.
Right.
We're all beautiful. We shouldn't be comparing each other. It's not a competition. We're all living our lives, doing the best we can. It doesn't matter. So I think the whole like there are a lot of issues with the story. A lot.
Right, but I think this introduces a whole other issue. Like aside from the race, which at this point, I'm gonna say I think if there are white people who feel concerned about people of color taking over these roles, I'm gonna give them this one. Like I wasn't feeling it with Ariel. I'm gonna give you this one because her name is Snow White. So we'll give that a pass. I see. Don't necessarily agree, but I kind of see the point. I know why you might be a little irritated with that,
But
but
they're not.
I know. But if they were, okay. However, I think it introduces this whole other issue of like, so Gal Gadot is obviously very attractive.
Hmm.
The only reason she would presumably, and I can remember, like, even in the cartoon back in the day, the like queen lady, step, whatever she wasn't bad looking.
Yeah.
She's still attractive. So presumably the only problem is that she's older. And
Hmm.
so it's definitely like, I don't know, really highlighting that an older, or she's not older, like a more mature woman
Hmm.
would in any way be jealous
Of
of
the
a
child.
younger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in two different places. Like, I don't even see, like, it
But I
doesn't
think it
make any
also is
sense.
always just perpetuating the whole like women are evil, whatever thing.
But also that we like hit a wall at some point. Like, okay, so now you're this age, you are somehow no longer attractive. And I think first off, that's just not true.
Right.
And but I think the idea that you can sit in a movie theater and look at Gal Gadot say that she's jealous of anybody, and that's supposed to like actually make sense that I'm gonna actually in my head have to be like, oh, she's playing a character and like try to scramble that up for it to
Hmm.
make sense because just simply the facts don't match that. But I think it just perpetuates this idea, one, that women are competing, that there's always somebody younger and prettier, and we have to worry about that. And that's the message that just, it's not even like it's offensive. It's just kind of like, doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, and also granted, I also feel like we haven't seen the film. So maybe she's not like from like maybe she's not jealous of her. This movie is about like women coming together, and there's no jealousy at all. And it's like she's her mentor. And it's like, it's sweet. And there are these random men there that she's
And
friends with that see her as like a younger sibling, sister, daughter.
not as someone to clean their house and whistle,
Right, exactly.
to happily
So
clean
she
the
cleans
house.
because she enjoys cleaning.
She cleans because the house is dirty. Well, their little tree hut thing is dirty. It's got to be cleaned.
They can't clean it. There are like eight of them, seven,
Oh, I don't
whatever.
remember in detail. It's been many
I've
years because
never
I
seen
too
it.
am old, just like Gal Gadot.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
So,
show it to you.
oh,
I
not
mean,
to
hey.
mention there's the whole like trigger warning rape
Oh,
thing.
how do we miss the rape part?
I don't know where he comes in. Like, where did he come
But
in?
I mean, me and you, like we've just sat here the whole time having a conversation about this movie that centers on the idea that he's like some kind of necro, whatever, like
But
she
I don't
looks dead
understand.
in the
So like
forest. And so
so he like this random guy is coming along and he just sees some shit laying down in the forest and
forest
like
flirt.
right and like
I was like, ooh,
whatever.
dang, she just
Right.
laying there. Okay, now, whoo, let me.
Is that what's
I don't
happening?
know because
Like
I don't
where does he come
remember.
in?
I don't remember.
Is he important?
Like, is he there to save her? Or does he just bump
Right,
into her?
right.
These are questions for the ages. And I'm not going to go. Well, we should go.
We should what?
Go see the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not comfortable
We need to just
spending.
pause this and we'll be back in a couple hours after we go see the movie and then we can like
We are not pausing this because right now it is past matinee time.
fine, we
And
can do a part two
if I
after
am
we
going
go
to be
see.
forced to spend money on something that we already know is horrible,
According to it could be really
according
good.
to what's good and bad, and according to the definitions
According to people who have seen it.
or the definition of what constitutes good versus what constitutes bad, it sounds like this is bad.
It could be really good
It
though.
could be amazing. I doubt it. I think the only way it's amazing is if we walk into it with a spirit of humor.
I think it is it's a comedy, right?
I don't think so. Fairy tales aren't comedies. I mean, singing is great. It's kind
They
of
no,
humorous,
but
but that's
that's
not really
not a
fairy
fairy tale.
tale.
And also they have humor in them.
Sure, a lot of things have humor in them. That doesn't make it a comedy. It's not like Grace and Frankie.
Right, but I'm just saying that maybe there is
It's not
like
Frankie and Grace, right?
funny. It's not.
Okay.
I think we just really got controversial. Calling people ugly.
I did not call that girl ugly.
You totally
No,
did.
I did not. I am not going to call that young lady ugly. I'm saying I just don't see that it's realistic that Gal Gadot is going to be jealous of her, regardless
Okay.
of their age. I just,
Okay, that's nicer.
I mean, she was like Wonder Woman. You
Yeah.
remember? And you're like, okay, dang, look at that. She's like, oh, or date night. You
Oh, that's
wanna
so true,
you wanna make
because
sex with us?
yeah,
And then
that
it
was
was
her.
like, oh, she's so sweet. Right. So she's jealous
Of anyone.
of anyone. It just doesn't,
Yeah.
and obviously everyone has insecurities, whatever, blah, blah,
But I
blah, but
also
it
do
doesn't
think that
work.
we should say
Why did you just do that? Oh my God. Parker.
Parker, Mom.
Oh my God.
You can also bleep that out, you know.
I cannot believe you just said that. Bleep it out.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I clearly
No,
said.
you do that.
I did not. Is this where the little chicken noises are going to come in?
Yeah, because you totally did. Yes. Mom, I am not going down because you have a weird way of communicating.
Yeah, you are. We're in it together. See?
This is this conversation is all this being bleeped out completely.
I'm not using bleeps. We can pull a
Yeah.
Kardashian and use farm animal
Or we could
noises.
use random noises. That make no sense.
What kind of random noise? Like a ching or like
Right.
a beep beep or
Right, exactly like alarms.
I can't believe this.